society went to shit when people started believing conspiracy theories. I think the biggest conspiracy theory that ruined America was the Cosa Nostra. Because you got an easy brain. Like, think about this. Have you ever met one smart Italian person? They can't organize nothing, man. They stupid. Italian people stupid, and like you know, it's like conspiracy theories. They take the world and they trick people into thinking, there's more to this world than there is. There ain't nothing going on here, you know, I'd say. But there's this story. To understand the story, you gotta believe in La Cosa Nostra, even though clearly they don't know, it don't exist, And it's a story. You have to believe, like in The Godfather and Goodfellas, all them movies, they're made of bullshit, but whatever. But this story, there's this frog, and the frog, it's called the Frog Father. He's like and he runs this organization of frogs, and how like frogs, they get, when the older frogs get older, they want to like have the company of a younger frogette, so they'll pay a frog some flies or something, and they can hang out with a frogette. It's very similar to the theoretical mafia. Like they were involved in prostitution of frogs, and they were involved in they loaned money for they loan like flies, and they gamble. They gamble. Who could jump the farthest on the lily pads? And you ever wonder where frog legs come from? You ever gone to like a grocery store, and they got frog legs? The frog mafia supplies those. If you don't make your payments, they'll take the frog legs and they'll put them in the grocery store. They make money that way. And so they were involved in Smacks. Smack is a cereal with a frog in it. It was called Smacks, and that's a euphemism for heroin, I think. And where's this joke going? I forgot how this joke goes. So there was this land deal that the frog mafia was trying to do. There was this guy, he wouldn't sell his land to the frog mafia, because they gotta get all the land to do the land deal. They're gonna make like some. There was a guy who wouldn't sell his land to the frog mafia, and so if you know anything about the frog mafia, you make the money. You don't kill them. You bleed them. It's called bleeding. You get someone up to here, and they can't breathe, and then you bleed them. 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 It's like the normal supposed mafia, and they had this one guy, and he was the born losers. They always look for the born losers. The mafia loves losers. They love losers, and this guy, he was in so much debt to him, and they walked up to him and they said, "Hey man, you're in a bunch of debt to us. You owe us so much money. We're gonna take your kids' legs." Because frogs, when frogs have kids, they just shit them into the pond. They just go, and they put like 500 of them into the pond. They just shit them out, little tadpoles. And this little doofus fucking frog was like, "No, me. I love my kids." He didn't, he was a shitbag, but whatever. And he's like, "Don't take my kids for legs." He had like 500 kids or something. I don't know. And and the frog was like, "Well, whatever. I guess. Can you figure out a way to pay us back?" He was in so much debt, man. And so they said, he was like, "I'll do anything. I'll do anything." And they were like, they loved this because they had a problem. They had to get that guy for that land. So they said, "Hey, psst, 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 You know, that means in the future, something the story will come, will make sense in like a minute. So the next day, there was this this animal. It has to get across the river because it found out like this animal had like a kid or something across the river, and he had to get across the river because his like son or daughter got beat the fuck up, and he had to go to the hospital across the river, the animal hospital, and to get across the river, the frogs would ferry animals across the river, and you know, so the animal goes down to the river. He's like, I gotta get across the river. My kid is hurt or something, or daughter. I don't give a fuck. It's bullshit. And so the frog's like, okay, I'll give you a ride for, you know, they had some sort of economy going on here. And so he gives him a ride across the river. And halfway across the river, he bites down on this poison packet that the mafia gave him. Because, you know, the mafia was like, you know, they said, hey, we'll forgive your debts if you bite this poison packet. And so the scorpion and the frog both died because the frog was a shitbag frog and he was in a bunch of debt to the frog mafia. And the frog mafia is fucking evil. And, you know, that's the parable of the scorpion and the frog. And that's, you know, because you can't trust them frogs, man. And, you know, the mafia. And, you know, oh, and that mafia guy, he, after that guy died, he was like, oh, the scorpions are evil. You know, he blamed it on the scorpion. And he created like a foundation. He got his hooks all in that shit, man. He got his hooks all the way down in there. He got even more soldiers. All those kids became soldiers for the frog father. You know, he knew what he was doing. That frog father was a smart guy. He was a smart motherfucker. Smart motherfucker. But I don't believe in no mafia, man. There ain't no mafia. There ain't no fucking mafia. They like the stupid people. They love stupid people. The mafia loves stupid people. They love people that can get addicted to shit. They like it when they get the water right up to here and get them to do anything. Shit. Fuck the mafia. Yeah, fuck the mafia. Fuck the frog mafia, too. Fuck the frog mafia. But that's a parable of a frog and the scorpion and the frog, man. They need to teach that in schools. They need to teach people about how, you know, frog father and shit, you know. You gotta teach that to the youngins, the tadpoles, you know. Are you serious? Yeah, that was pretty good. I like it.